Hi, this is Win Claybaugh. Welcome to my Best of Masters weekly audio blog for AmericanSalon.com. Next up is one of my favorite clips from the last 20 years of inspiring interviews from Masters Audio Club. Well, Geno, I'm so grateful for your contribution to the beauty industry, and people love you. Dude. And last night was just a reminder of that, to see you on stage last night. You know, just telling your stories, and I bet I've heard that beauty school story I don't know how many times, and I'm hysterical in the back of the room along with everybody else. And I'm getting the lesson. I got the message.
I appreciate that. You know, there a lot of times people don't realize when sometimes you need to be reminded of that message, and all of a sudden you go, oh boy, I knew that. You know, if we could only remember some of the things we forget that we used to do, that we get too busy, that we no longer do, you know. I think some of the greatest advantages of doing what we do is having a chance to work with great people and great thinkers, having a chance to sometimes within a month, having been from LA to New York and every place in between, and seeing what's happening in pockets of America in the salons or different places in the world, going to Europe and seeing what they're doing, and you begin to see the importance of building a wall around your creativity and the importance of building that creative process to keep it alive, to feed it, and the importance of understanding business and how to do a checkbook and how to run your company. And, you know, when we were talking earlier, I think one of the greatest problems in our industry is there's so many people that run, work in, manage, own salons in America that settle for decent. And the reality is that if you're going to settle, why not settle for more? There's so much opportunity out there for us, you know, for our great industry.
I agree, and I think that lesson that we were talking about in the very beginning of this, that we turn around and we share it, is what validates it more for ourselves.
Well, you know, it's so hard to explain, to make clear to others that every time you do a seminar, you've been to that seminar. Right. You're teaching and learning, you know, all at the same time. So when people say to me sometimes, how do you stay so charged up? Well, I go to my seminars 4 or 5 times a week. So it's easy to stay charged up if you can keep that stuff, you know, on the top of your mind.
And it didn't cost me much.
No, not at all.
You get in for free. Well, I love the title of this Masters interview, Reinvent You, which is a great title, especially now we're recording this in January, so it's soon after the first of the year, when people are thinking about positive changes and resolutions. Not that we can't decide to start all over in June. So maybe somebody's going to pull this CD out and they're going to listen to it again in November. And so cool, you can reinvent you in November, which I've done many times before. So, you know what? Geno, take us into this. Reinvent you.
Well, I believe that many people sell themselves short, Win. They're not aware of their potential. And I think one of the greatest things I ever heard was, what would you be if you became aware of your complete potential? What would you be if you really drove yourself and took yourself to the full distance, to be very much all that you could be? And it's easy with the information that we are bombarded today. I mean, between the newspapers and news and 24-hour CNN and everything that's going on in the music in your life, and everybody's trying to bounce 1,000 balls, and we're all at these conferences like we are here this weekend, and we're all looking for the quick answer. We're all grabbing for something. My thought always is that the greatest way to begin to reinvent yourself is not to spend so much time looking outside, but to take a little time to look inside. You know, who are you? What are you made of? What are you all about? How can you inspire yourself to be more, do more, give more, get more out of life? One of the things I share with a lot of my friends is that my main goal every day is to squeeze the day dry. Is to know that when I go to bed that night, I've gotten the most out of it today. I've met a lot of people, and I've made people happy that they saw me. I made a difference in them, just that we were together for that one moment. And in looking inside, taking the time to look inside yourself, it's important that you work on and develop the faith and the confidence and the belief in you, that you can make it happen, that you can be so much more. So I think that's where it starts.
You said in the beginning, if people were to realize what their potential is or something along those lines, but I want to ask you a question. Give us a message about people who just think that they're supposed to play small. You say, hey, are you good at this? And, you know, we need volunteers who are good at this. And well, I'm good at that, but I'm not going to raise my hand.
Yeah.
Or, no, I'm not really. Playing small, who does that serve?
You pay a price for your lifestyle, Win, regardless of what your lifestyle is. People that tend to think small, that tend to play small, sell themselves short. They're selling themselves short on life. They're selling themselves short on what they could be. They begin to almost fuel the boredom. by their actions and by their habits and by their characteristics. And you know what? My friend Jim Rohn says all the time, if you're making $40,000 a year and that's the best you can do, then that's wonderful. But if you're making $40,000 a year and you could be making $80,000 a year, that's a problem. If you're turning 2 or 3 people on and making them happy and that's the best you can do, that's wonderful. But if you can get out and make everybody a little happier having met you, that's the goal in life. That's the way to pour your heart out and give your all.